Hey, what's going on, people? So Nick Pope has agreed a deal in principle with Newcastle United and is expected to undergo a medical tomorrow. Although Martin Dubravka was seen as the undisputed number one last season, I fully expect Pope to make that spot his own right from the get-go. With the World Cup just around the corner, he must have been given some level of assurance by Eddie Howe that he'll be getting ample game time between now and November. Although Jordan Pickford is obviously a guaranteed starter for Southgate and Aaron Ramsdale his likely deputy, Pope will want to ensure he retains his spot as third choice, as even being named in the 26-man squad is a massive achievement, regardless of whether or not he actually goes on to play a single minute. With the fee reported to be a mere £10 million, Newcastle have landed themselves an absolute bargain, something that seemed unlikely given clubs have been looking to fleece them left, right and centre ever since the takeover. At 30 years of age, Pope has an incredible amount of experience within English football under his belt, having played in every single division there is on offer from the National League all the way up to the Prem. He won't need any time to settle, and Newcastle themselves will know exactly what they're getting, which can't be said for the majority of foreign imports. Goalkeeping is obviously a position whereby calmness and reliability are fundamentals, and Pope provides both of those things in abundance. Unlike other incomings over the age of 30 such as Dan Burn, Chris Wood and Kieran Trippier, Pope has up to a decade left in the game and could even provide some resale value once Newcastle really start competing with sides in the upper echelons of the game. Certain sections of the Newcastle fanbase could be wondering why this signing was even made, given Dubravka regularly plays international football for Slovakia and was voted as Newcastle United's Player of the Year for 2020, while Pope is hardly a world beater himself. First and foremost, Freddie Woodman has officially joined Preston North End and Carl Darlow is being strongly linked with a move to Middlesbrough. Couple that with the fact that Dubravka's missed half the games Newcastle have played over the last 2 seasons due to injury, bringing in a capable keeper was absolutely paramount. Secondly, while Dubravka has done very well for the most part, Pope appears to be more willing to come off his line, which is something Eddie Howe no doubt wants to see in a side attempting to play attacking football on the front foot. While both these fellas are great shot stoppers, Pope is the far superior sweeper, which will encourage the Newcastle backline to push up a couple of yards and thus allow the team as a whole to play a pressing game. In fact, he ranks second in the entire league for this metric, with only Alisson ahead of him and Ederson a close third. Not to mention that Pope also happens to be 3 years younger than Dubravka, which is something you wouldn't expect watching the two players. Dubravka has a mistake or two in his game, which he hasn't quite been able to shake off with age. Conversely, Dubravka's superior passing ability and accuracy will be missed within a more possession-based approach, which is an area of the game in which Pope has historically struggled. Pope is also largely accustomed to playing for a side that has 2 banks of 4 and sits deep while soaking up pressure. While this may appear to be irrelevant on the outset, Peter Schmeichel has explained in the past how the types of saves keepers make within different styles is a hugely underrated aspect of the sport. His example was a comparison between himself and David De Gea when a journalist asked him who the better player was. His response was along the lines of, De Gea is one of the best ever when peppered with shots in a team on the back foot, but struggles for concentration if his side are overwhelming favourites and he's expected to only make 1 or 2 saves per game. The equal but opposite logic applied to Schmeichel himself. He was brilliant in a dominant side where he'd be asked to pull a rabbit out of the hat on the odd occasion, but couldn't cope with having to make save after save throughout the 90 minutes. With this in mind, perhaps a horses for courses approach isn't beyond the realms of possibility with how switching between the two depending on the tactical makeup of the game or whether it's a league or cup match. We've seen that in the past at certain clubs with managers switching between the two. That being said, I do believe Nick Pope's distribution being abject is a bit of a myth. He was regularly made to pump long passes up the field by Sean Dyche for a team that weren't interested in keeping the ball within their own half. In fact, 75% of his passes were launched into the opposition half, so it's difficult to read too much into the statistics. We won't know how he'll fare for a team looking to build from the back until he's asked to do so, which means we'll all be finding out about it soon enough. Overall, this is a surprisingly sensible signing by Newcastle United and one who, in my opinion, start the majority of Newcastle's games next season. Pope is someone that has won Burnley's Players' Player and Player of the Year awards for 2018 and 2020, while also being part of the PFA Team of the Year in the latter. With 8 England caps to his name, he'll be hoping this move can help him in adding to that and taking his game, as well as Newcastle's performances as a club, to a whole nother level. Cheers for tuning in, guys. It's great from Newcastle's perspective to finally have someone through the door. Obviously linked with the likes of Hugo Ekitike. I've made a video about him if you want to check it out. as well as Sven Botman, who obviously favors a move to Milan given they've just won the Serie A and are back in the Champions League. We'll have to see how that one pans out. But I'm quite liking this approach from Newcastle so far. They're not quite going down the Man City road, who a decade ago were pretty much signing anyone under the sun. The way they finished the season at St. James's Park in particular was unbelievable. And once these reinforcements do start coming in, I fully expect them to finish in the top half of the table, probably around 9th or 10th. Have a great day, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Do consider liking the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more football related content. Peace.